Hey there, beautiful people. I am Leticia Ringe, and today we're talking about entrepreneurial maturity. So, entrepreneurial maturity is a concept that I have made up to explain the entrepreneur journey. What we need to focus on in our business at the start of our business journey is very different to what we need to focus on when we're growing and scaling a business. And the process of going from starting to growing and scaling is what I call entrepreneurial maturity. When we're starting a business, what we need to do is explore. We need to try new things. We need to be in constant communication with our community to work out what it is we can do to serve them, what they're willing to invest in, and how you can best support them through the work that you provide. And this is because our relationship with our community is a two-way street, right? It's not just about what do I as the business owner want to provide. It's about what do I want to provide and what does my community need? What are they asking for? What do they value? And through that combination of the two, we're able to come up with options, and then it's about waiting until we find that perfect match, that validated offer that ends up selling to your community. Once you've got that validated offer that is selling, that you're making money from, then you're at a place along the business journey where you've got a strong foundation to grow and scale from. When you're going into the growing and scaling part of the process, this requires a process of maturity and refinement. What this means is, rather than trying all the new things and having your energy scattered in all the different places, you are now focusing in on the areas of your business that are working most for you. And when it comes to your offers, it means that you're focusing on the offers that are actually validated, i.e. the ones that are selling and that you're making money from. The more you focus in on those offers, the more money you are going to make, the more impact you are going to have, because you are amplifying what is working. What people tend to do instead is they'll have a number of different offers that they've done in this starting phase, and maybe one of them is working, but they will take all of these over into the growing and scaling phase and try to scale them all, and with that they scale their scattered attention as well. And what this means is that they end up feeling like they're doing so many things and they're not able to focus their attention and get even better and more impactful with the offers that are actually having the biggest impact for the community. Now, the reason we do this is because of our egos. Our identity gets caught up in what we offer and serve people with. Now, I'm not saying that your offer can't be tweaked in any way. For instance, if your one-to-one offer is something that is the one that's validated and that's working because it's selling and you're making money from it, then as you grow and scale, you're only going to be able to grow and scale that to a certain degree before you're not able to do that anymore, because we only have a certain amount of number of hours in the day and also our energy. So it may be modifying that offer so that it's able to support more people, right? That could be through group work, it could be through courses. There's lots of different options. So the growing and scaling, though, is only going to work if we're growing and scaling something that's already working. Okay? So our work as entrepreneurs, as new entrepreneurs, is working out what that validated offer is for ourselves. Once we have that, we can move into growing and scaling that so that our attention becomes more refined. We're able to really up-level what is working and let go of everything that is not. This is where the maturity is required, because it really is hard to let go of things that you actually want to keep doing, but are actually causing you to have your energy scattered. And what I can tell you from going through this myself and also supporting many others to go through this process is, once you get over that initial feeling of how hard it feels to let go of those things, you end up opening up so much space for even better things to come into your life. And you look back and you think, that wasn't so hard. I can't believe I clung on to that so much. So this is why when it comes to growing and scaling, we do need support in the growing and scaling of our businesses because we're so attached to everything. It's really hard to see what we need to actually focus on. And so having someone who is objective and independent from you to help you really see what you want to focus on and what you need to focus on to be able to create that really financially successful business that you desire, that is so incredibly valuable. And it makes that decision making on our end as the entrepreneur just a little bit easier. You'll still have to go through the letting go process though. So this is incredibly helpful to know what the difference is between these two phases. And it's the reason that I always ask people, are you starting or are you growing a business? Because the way that I'm able to support you when you're starting versus growing is different, and it's different for a reason. You need to be focusing on different things. Now, the starting and growing phase, there's lots of different chapters of that, right? And once you've really amplified and grown something built from a strong foundation, so one of your offers, and you're up to 6 figures, for instance, or beyond 6 figures, you can then start expanding again. But you would focus on something else that's specific and then expand, and then something else that's specific. So you always want to make sure you've got a validated offer, you grow and scale that validated offer, and then you build some really strong systems that have that offer flowing on its own, right? And really standing on its own. It's like you almost are able to be like, okay, now you can fly. I've done all the work to set everything up to really support you like a child, and now you need to go out and be independent and on your own. And so that creates more space for me as the entrepreneur to then focus on something else that might be fun to me. And then I'm going through the same process, validating the offer and then growing and scaling that validated offer. Now, a lot of people think that doing things like advertising, like Facebook ads or Amazon or YouTube or whatever ads you're thinking of, and funnels, so creating a really complicated funnel, are what is going to save the day. But it's incorrect. If you try to amplify something that is not already working, you will end up wasting a ton of money and time doing that. Instead, you want to be validating the offer and then growing and scaling that. So it's at this point that you could bring in things like funnels and Facebook advertising. But let me tell you, it depends on your business. But for a lot of people, we do not need any form of Facebook advertising or funnels, anything complicated, until we reach about 6 figures, and then you can start focusing your attention on these things. And why? It's because then we have a really strong offer that's ready to grow and scale. Now, when you're growing and scaling, you're really working out like how do I speak to people about this offer, right? What is actually working? So you need to have some of that data and information before you start going and putting a lot of money behind it. Now, of course, that's not always the case. It depends on your situation, your personal situation, and also the niche that you're working in. There's lots of different factors. But as a general rule of thumb, if you try and put money behind something that is not ready to be scaled, you are going to also scale the problems that are already in that business. So if you're scaling scattered, distracted energy, then that's just going to make all the consequences of that scattered, distracted energy bigger, right? So we don't want to do that. We want to focus our attention on what is actually working and then build from there. So my beautiful friends, I would love to know, are you in the starting phase of your business journey, or are you now in entrepreneurial maturity and growing and scaling your business? Which one are you in? Now, if you're at the start of your business journey, but also this is probably helpful for those of you who are growing and scaling because it deals with some other foundational pieces, I also invite you to check out my free 4-day online business Kickstarter training. That's going to help you know what the 4 most powerful and impactful steps are that you can take today to support yourself to create a successful business. Now, part of what I teach in that training is all about your signature offer. So I highly recommend you check that out. You can find that at leticiaringe.com/Kickstarter. It won't take you too long to go through the trainings, and then you can start implementing that into your offer. Now, coming up with a validated offer doesn't need to be take a long time. You could figure this out within a week if you really put your mind to it, and then you looked for feedback from your community and you really listened. But most of us are not listening. We're saying, I want to do this, and we're not responding to our community and to the signs that are coming our way. So we need to get really good at listening, as well as trying new things when we are at that stage of validating our offer. And then as we mature, it's a process of also responding, but saying, okay, what's actually been working here? And looking at the data, looking at what is right in front of us, so that we can then grow and scale those great results rather than growing and scaling all of the problems. All right, my beautiful friends, I hope this has been really helpful. Understanding this concept and coming up with this concept to explain everything I've just gone through with you today has been really eye-opening for me, and is also super helpful for my clients. If you'd love to know more about working with me with either growing or scaling your business, just reach out and get in touch, and otherwise keep an eye out for the next video. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.